Good afternoon. Welcome to TwoDaysFootball.com. Today we're going to go over a scheme that we use with our offensive linemen to make sure that they know who to block on what play. First, we break down our plays. Now, we have a lot of man and gap plays along with zone plays. So we'll run outside zone and inside zone. We'll also run an inside ice, a counter, or a power. And one of the reasons why we came up with this concept, or we actually saw this concept, and one of the reasons why we used this concept is because some of our kids were having confusion on who to get and when. So the first thing that our kids have to do is when they hear the play call in the huddle, they have to identify, is it a man gap play or is it a zone play? And here's our rule. If it's a man or a gap play, our rule is on to off. What does that mean? They're going to have the on down lineman that's an immediate threat to their body, somebody that they could basically reach out and touch, to the offside linebacker, if it's a man or a gap scheme. So, for example, if we're going to run an inside isolation to the right, and we're looking to ice this guy with our fullback, when we ran this play, there were a lot of times where our center said, "Coach, do I block the play side inside linebacker or the backside inside linebacker?" So now what we do is I say, well, if we're going to run an inside ice, is that a man gap play or is it a zone play? And then our kid will be able to identify, actually, coach, that's a man gap play. So now, you're one down lineman to an offside backer. What does that mean? We're going to look to get a double here, okay, because we consider this guy on. He's an immediate threat to your body. We're going to double this, and now we're going to go on, like we just said, to the offside linebacker. And we're going to ice him with the fullback, okay? So we're sticking with our rules, and we're able to execute our blocks. Again, another example is if we were to run power to the right, okay, our tackle would ask coach, all right, when I rub off this double team, okay, who do I go block? Do I rub off and get the play side inside linebacker or the offside inside linebacker? We identify what power is. If power is a man gap play, we know that we have to get the on down lineman, the guy that's immediate threat, which in this case it is. Okay, so we're going to get our double here, and now because he's on, and it's a man gap play, we're walking to the offside backer. All right, and we're going to account for him by the pulling guard. And our guy doesn't need to know that, he just needs to know his rule, and his rule is on to off when it's a man or a gap play. All right, now, if it's a zone play, so now we're running zone, whether it be inside zone or outside zone, and they want to know their rules. Okay? We call our play, we'll even say outside zone or inside zone. That's just the name of our play. So it's very easy for them to identify what we're running. For example, if it's zone, we tell him, you're getting the on down lineman to the onside backer. Okay? So now, all right, if we're going here and we got leverage and say, for example, we got a tight end over here. All right, and he gives us a head up or an outside eye, whatever it may be. Our tackle says, coach, I'm going to take my zone step. If nobody shows, do I climb to the offside or the onside? Well, what's your rule? On zone, I'm on to on. Okay, so there's no onside guy, so now I'm climbing to the onside inside linebacker. So that's our on to on and on to off rule, depending on what play we're running, whether it be a man gap play or a zone scheme. Now, a question you may have, all right, by an offensive lineman. And again, if they follow their rules, it's not hard. For some strange reason, say they get a 1 tech and a 3 tech. Say they got 2 guys that are immediate threat to their body. He can basically reach out and touch the defensive tackle to his left. He can also reach out and touch the defensive tackle to his right. All right? He then says, coach, who's the on-down lineman that I block? We still tell him, follow your rules. So if it's a power play, all right, your rule is on to off. So we tell him, you're going to block the on-down lineman in the direction that you were supposed to be going to get the offside backer. So what does that mean? He's supposed to be on to off. So he knows his path should be an on-down lineman in that direction to go then to get the offside. So now he knows he's down. All right, his is going to be a down block. He's also going to be a down block because he's on off. He's the on down lineman that's also an immediate threat to him, and he knows he's supposed to be working to the offside linebacker. Now, if these 2 guys don't walk to the offside linebacker, not a big deal, as long as they know what direction that they're supposed to be going in. All right? Same situation, all right, if it's zone. Zone, coach, I got 2 immediate threats, all right, on my body. I have an inside technique and an outside technique. Who's the on-down lineman that I block? Well, what's your rule? You're the on-down lineman to the onside backer. So you're going to be going in the direction of the onside backer. So who do you block? You block this down lineman because that's where the onside backer would be if we're running zone to the right. So it's a simple rule that we installed, and now our kids' blocking assignments, it really cleaned up at the point of attack, and they really started to understand where they should be going. Again, biggest coaching point, make sure in the beginning of the season, if you run both schemes, make sure they're able to identify what's a man or a gap play versus what's a zone play. And like I said, zone is usually tagged with every one of our zone plays, so it's easy for our kids to identify that. Thank you.